He pointed at the photo and smiled like he already knew how this would break me.
I've been waiting for you to stop looking. My name is Daniel Harper. I'm 67 years old because I'm right here.
And I never stopped searching for my son. The photo he was pointing at had lived in my wallet for 32 years. Worn edges, faded colors, a little boy with sandy hair, missing his front tooth, squinting into the sun like it owed him something. My son Caleb, 5 years old the day he disappeared. I didn't breathe when the man said those words. Not because I believed him, but because for a split second, I wanted to. I studied his face. Late 30s, maybe early 40s. Dark hair. A little too neat. His eyes were steady, locked on mine, not nervous, not excited, just patient. Like he'd rehearsed this moment. That's what scared me. Because real miracles don't rehearse. You don't joke about things like that, I said, my voice low, controlled. It took everything not to grab him by the collar. Not to people like me. I'm not joking, he replied calmly. And I know you're Daniel Harper. I know your wife's name was Elise. I know your son went missing on June 14, 1993, from a rest stop outside Flagstaff. My fingers tightened around the wallet. Those details weren't public. Not all of them. Not like that. I also know, he continued softer now, that you blame yourself. That hit harder than anything else. Because that part was true. Because I had stepped away. Just for a minute. Just long enough. I remember that day like it never ended. The heat. The hum of trucks passing. Elise inside the restroom. Caleb tugging on my sleeve, asking for a soda. I told him to wait. Told him I'd be right back. I turned. I paid. I came back. He was gone. No scream. No struggle. Just gone. Like the world blinked and decided he didn't belong anymore. I need you to prove it, I said, forcing myself back into the present. If you're going to say something like that, you better prove it. The man nodded like he expected that. I remember the red truck, he said. The one you told me not to go near. My stomach dropped. There was a sticker on the back, he continued. A cartoon bear wearing sunglasses. I thought it was funny. I hadn't told anyone about that sticker. Not the police. Not even Elise. It was such a small detail, but it had haunted me. Because I remembered seeing that truck again, driving away. Too late. You're guessing, I said, but my voice had lost its edge. I'm not, he replied. I also remember what happened after. I didn't want to hear it. God help me, I didn't want to hear it. But I nodded anyway. I got into the truck, he said. Because the man inside told me you sent him. My knees felt weak. He said you were busy, that he'd take me to get that soda instead. I closed my eyes for a second. Just 1 second. And in that second, I saw it all over again. My son. Trusting. Smiling. Getting into that truck. Because I told him to wait. Because I wasn't there. What happened next? I asked, barely above a whisper. The man hesitated. For the first time, I saw something crack in his composure. Pain. I don't remember everything, he said. Not clearly, not at first. There were different places, different people. I didn't keep my name. What do you mean? They changed it, he said simply. More than once. My chest tightened. Why are you telling me this now? I asked. Because I found the photo. I blinked. What? He reached into his coat pocket and pulled something out. Another copy of the same photo. Worn. Creased. Older than it should have been. I've had this for years, he said. I didn't know why, it was just there, with my things. Every time I tried to get rid of it, I couldn't. Where did you get it? I don't know, he said. But a few months ago, something changed. His eyes met mine again. I started remembering. The air between us felt heavy. Like it was deciding whether to crush me or give me back something I had buried. I remembered your voice, he said. The way you said my name. I remembered my real name. My throat tightened. Say it. He took a breath. Caleb. Everything inside me shattered. I don't remember falling. I just remember the ground coming up too fast. And then hands grabbing me. His hands. Easy, he said. You're okay. That word. Okay. I hadn't felt that word in decades. I pushed his hands away, scrambling back, staring at him like he might disappear if I blinked. Say it again, I demanded. Caleb, he repeated, softer now. No, I snapped. Not the name. Say something only he would know. He nodded slowly. Then he smiled. Not the calm, rehearsed smile from before. Something smaller. Warmer. Familiar. You used to call me Captain Trouble, he said. Because I climbed everything. My heart stopped. You fell out of the apple tree when you were 4, he continued. Broke your arm. You cried more about missing your birthday party than the pain. My vision blurred. Elise made you that dinosaur cake, he added. You said it looked like a lizard with a cold. I let out a sound I didn't recognize. Something between a laugh and a sob. Because that was him. That was my boy. Or at least it had been. I crawled closer, my hands shaking as I reached out, stopping just inches from his face. Caleb. I whispered. He didn't answer right away. Just watched me. Studied me. Like he was searching for something too. Then slowly he nodded. And I broke. 32 years of grief came out in one breath. I grabbed him, pulling him into me, holding on like if I let go he'd vanish again. He stiffened at first. Of course he did. I was a stranger. Then slowly he relaxed. His arms came up, wrapped around me. Not tight. Not like a son who never left. But enough. Enough to make me believe this wasn't a dream. I'm here, he said quietly. I'm here. I don't know how long we stayed like that. Time didn't feel real anymore. Nothing did. But eventually reality came back. And with it questions. So many questions. What happened to you? I asked, pulling back just enough to see his face. His expression darkened. It's complicated. I've got time, I said. He let out a small, humorless laugh. I figured you would. We sat down on a nearby bench. The same park where I used to come every Sunday, just in case. Just in case. I wasn't with one person the whole time, he began. The man who took me, he didn't keep me. Then what? He sold me. The word hit like a punch. Sold you. He nodded. I don't know how many times. I lost track. Different names, different places. Sometimes I was a son. Sometimes I was something else. My hands clenched into fists. Did anyone? No, he cut me off quickly. Not like that, not always, but it wasn't good. I nodded, swallowing the rage building inside me. I tried to remember, he continued. At first, I tried to tell people my real name, but they'd punish me. So eventually, I stopped. A long silence settled between us. I'm sorry, I said finally. He looked at me. For what? For not being there. His jaw tightened. You were there, he said. Just not when it mattered. That hurt. Because it was true. I never stopped looking, I said. I know. You do. I've seen you, he said quietly. My heart skipped. What? Not in person, he clarified. But online, news clips, interviews, you aged, but I recognized you. Why didn't you come sooner? He looked away. Because I wasn't sure, he admitted. And because I didn't know if I wanted to. That felt like another knife. I understand, I said, even though part of me didn't. I had a life, he went on. Different names, different identities. None of them were real, but they were mine. And now, he looked back at me. Now I want to know the truth. What truth? He leaned in slightly. Who took me? My chest tightened. I don't know, I said. But you saw the truck, he pressed. You remember something. I hesitated. Because I did remember something. Something I never told anyone. The license plate, I said slowly. His eyes sharpened. I saw part of it, I continued. Just a few characters. I thought it wasn't enough to matter. Tell me. I took a breath. 7, K and maybe a 3. He nodded like he was filing it away. That's more than I had, he said. What are you going to do? I asked. He didn't answer right away. Then he stood up. I'm going to finish what started that day, he said. A cold feeling crept into my chest. You're not thinking straight, I warned. I've never thought clearer, he replied. Caleb. Don't, he snapped. I froze. His expression hardened. That name, it's yours, he said. Not mine, not yet. That hurt more than anything else. I need time, he added softer now, to figure out who I am. I nodded slowly. I understand. He studied me for a moment. Then he reached into his pocket again and handed me something. A piece of paper. A number. I'll call you, he said. And just like that, he walked away. Again. But this time, I didn't run after him. Because for the first time in 32 years, I knew where to find him. And for the first time, I wasn't just searching. I was waiting. You think finding your missing son would end the nightmare. But that's exactly where mine began all over again. And the day my son came back, I realized I had never really understood what I lost. I didn't move from that bench for a long time after he walked away. The paper in my hand felt heavier than it should have. Just a phone number. 10 digits. But it carried 32 years of grief, hope, guilt, and something new. Fear. Because the boy I lost wasn't the man who just stood in front of me. And the man who stood in front of me wasn't done with whatever took him. That much was clear. The sun had started dipping low, casting long shadows across the park. The same park I had come to every Sunday for years, sitting in the same spot, holding that same photo, hoping for something impossible. And now impossible had just looked me in the eyes and walked away like I was the one who needed time. I let out a slow breath and looked down at the number again. My hands were still shaking. I almost didn't call. Almost. Because part of me was terrified that if I dialed it, it would ring into nothing. Or worse, someone else would answer. But another part of me, the part that had kept me searching for 3 decades, didn't give me a choice. I pulled out my phone. Dialed. Each beep felt louder than it should have. It rang once. Twice. 3 times. Then. Yea. His voice. Flat. Controlled. Distant. Not Dad. Not even hello. Just yea. I swallowed. It's me. A pause. I know. Of course he did. I just wanted to make sure, I said, hating how unsure I sounded. I gave you the number, he replied. I wasn't planning to disappear. Disappear. That word landed between us like something fragile. I didn't mean it like that, I said quickly. I know what you meant. Another pause. This one longer. He wasn't making this easy. And I couldn't blame him. Where are you? I asked. Does it matter? It does to me. Silence. Then a quiet exhale. I'm not far, he said. Same city, been here a while. You've been here. I repeated, my chest tightening. All this time. Not all this time, he corrected. Just recently. Why here? Another pause. Then softer. Because of you. That hit me harder than I expected. You were the only thing I could trace back, he continued. The only thing that felt real. I closed my eyes for a second. Can I see you again? I asked. Not demanded. Not assumed. Asked. He didn't answer right away. I could hear something on his end, traffic maybe. Or footsteps. Like he was walking. Always moving. Maybe, he said finally. When? I'll let you know. That wasn't enough. Not after everything. Cal. I stopped myself. What do I call you? A long silence followed that question. Longer than any before. Then. I don't know, he admitted. And that broke something in me all over again. Because a name is the first thing you're given. And they took even that from him. Okay, I said quietly. Then I'll wait. He didn't respond to that. Instead, he asked, You still have the photo? I looked down at my wallet. Yeah. Keep it on you. I always do. Good. Another pause. Then. And don't show it to anyone. My grip tightened on the phone. Why? No answer. Why? I repeated, sharper this time. Finally. Because if they see it, they might recognize it. A chill ran through me. I'll call you, he said quickly, cutting the conversation off. Wait. But the line went dead. I stared at the screen. Call ended. Just like that. Again. I sat there for a while longer, the world moving around me like I wasn't part of it. People walking their dogs. Kids laughing. A couple arguing quietly near the fountain. Normal life. And then there was mine. A life that had just flipped upside down, twice in one day. I went home that evening, but it didn't feel like home anymore. Every corner of that house held a memory of Caleb. The real Caleb. The 5-year-old who used to run down the hallway in socks, sliding into the kitchen like he was landing a plane. The boy who insisted on sleeping with the hallway light on because monsters hate light, Dad. The kid who trusted me. And now there was a man out there who might be him. Who remembered things no one else could. Who carried pieces of a life I couldn't protect. And who was clearly in danger. I didn't sleep that night. Not even for a minute. I sat in the living room, the photo in one hand, my phone in the other. Waiting. Listening. Thinking. And the more I thought, the more something didn't sit right. Not about him. About everything around him. Don't show the photo. They might recognize it. That meant one thing. Whoever took him might still be out there. And worse. They might still be watching. The next morning, I did something I hadn't done in years. I pulled out the old case file. A dusty box in the back of my closet. Police reports. Newspaper clippings. Handwritten notes. Every lead I had ever chased. Every dead end. Every piece of a puzzle that never came together. Until now. I spread everything across the table. And for the first time in decades, I wasn't looking at it like a grieving father. I was looking at it like someone who had just been given a second chance. A chance to see what I missed. A chance to finish it. Hours passed. Then more. And then. I saw it. Something small. Something I had overlooked 100 times. A note from an officer. Barely 2 lines. Witness reported similar vehicle seen at another rest stop 2 weeks prior. Plate partially visible, 7K, 3. My heart started pounding. Same pattern. Same partial plate. This wasn't random. This wasn't a one-time thing. Whoever took my son had done it before. And probably after. Which meant there were others. Other kids. Other families. Other lives destroyed. And if my son had survived, how many hadn't? A knock at the door snapped me out of it. Sharp. Unexpected. I froze. No one came by anymore. Not like this. Another knock. Slower this time. Deliberate. I stood up, my heart racing. Walked to the door. Hesitated. Then opened it. And the moment I did, everything inside me went cold. Because standing there was a man I had never seen before. Mid-50s. Clean-cut. Calm. Too calm. Mr. Harper, he asked politely. I didn't answer. Didn't move. I believe you spoke to someone yesterday, he continued. Someone important. Every instinct in my body screamed at me to shut the door. But I didn't. Because I already knew. This wasn't a coincidence. Who are you? I asked. He smiled. But it didn't reach his eyes. Let's just say, he replied, I'm someone who's been looking for your son too. My blood ran cold. And now that he's found you, he added, stepping slightly closer, we need to talk. I knew the moment he said, we need to talk, this wasn't about helping me. It was about making sure I didn't ask the wrong questions. I was about to open my door to the same nightmare that stole my son. I didn't step aside. Not yet. We stood there, inches apart, the frame of my front door between us like a line neither of us had crossed, but both of us understood. You've got the wrong house, I said, keeping my voice steady. No, he replied calmly. I really don't. His eyes flicked past me for a second, scanning the inside of my home like he already knew the layout. Like he'd been there before. That alone made my skin crawl. I think you should leave, I added. He sighed, almost disappointed. Mr. Harper, Daniel, he corrected himself smoothly. You spent 32 years looking for your son. Don't you think it's a little late to start being cautious? That hit a nerve. You don't get to say his name, I snapped. A small smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. There it is, he said quietly. That's the man I was expecting. I felt my hands curl into fists. What do you want? Clarity, he said. And cooperation. I don't owe you either. No, he agreed. But your son might. That did it. I stepped forward, closing the distance between us. Say that again. But he didn't flinch. Didn't even blink. Instead, he leaned in just enough to lower his voice. He's not as safe as you think, he said. Every muscle in my body locked. You don't know anything about him. Don't I? His tone shifted slightly. Less polite. More certain. He's been moving, he continued. Changing places, avoiding patterns. That's not something people just pick up. My heart started pounding again. He told you that? I asked. No, the man said. He didn't have to. A pause. Then. We've been watching him. The words hit like ice water. Something inside me snapped into focus. Not fear. Not grief. Something sharper. You shouldn't have said that, I murmured. For the first time, his expression changed. Just slightly. Confusion. Why not? Because now I know exactly what you are. He tilted his head, curious. Enlighten me. You're not here to help, I said. You're here to control the situation. And what situation is that? The one where he remembers too much. Silence. For half a second, maybe less. But it was enough. Because I saw it. That flicker. That confirmation. And just like that, the air between us changed. He straightened, adjusting his jacket like the conversation had shifted into something more formal. You're smarter than I expected, he said. I had a lot of time to think, I replied. I can see that. Another pause. Then he stepped closer. Not aggressively. Confidently. Like he had every right to be there. Let me make this simple, he said. What happened 32 years ago wasn't random. I figured that out. Good, he nodded. Then you also understand that digging into it now isn't going to bring you peace. I'm not looking for peace. No, he agreed softly. You're looking for answers. My jaw tightened. And answers, he continued, come with consequences. I've already lived with the worst one. Have you? That question hung in the air. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Because part of me wasn't sure anymore. You found your son, he said. That should be enough. It's not. It has to be. Or what? Another small smile. But this one was colder. Or things start to unravel, he said. For him, not you. There it was. The threat. Not direct. Not loud. But clear. My grip on the door tightened. You think I'm going to back off because you showed up at my house and tried to scare me. I think, he said calmly, you're going to think very carefully about your next move. And if I don't. He looked at me for a long moment. Really looked this time. Like he was measuring something. Then he nodded once. Then we'll have to adjust. A chill ran down my spine. We. He didn't answer. Instead, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a card, held it out to me. I didn't take it. Go on, he said. Take it. I'm not calling you. I know, he replied. That's not what it's for. Reluctantly, I reached out and took the card. It was plain. No logo. No company name. Just a number. And a single word printed underneath. Helix. I looked back up at him. What is this? A courtesy, he said. For what? In case you decide to make the right choice. And what choice is that? He stepped back slightly, giving me space. Let the past stay buried. My chest tightened. That's not going to happen. I was hoping you'd say that, he replied. That caught me off guard. Why? Because it means you're predictable. Before I could respond, he turned. Just like that. No urgency. No fear. He walked down my driveway like this had been nothing more than a casual visit. I stood there, the card in my hand, my mind racing. Helix. I had never heard of it. But something about it felt wrong. Not just secretive. Structured. Like an organization that didn't want to be found, but didn't need to hide either. I closed the door slowly. Locked it. Then locked it again. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel alone in my house. I felt watched. I went back to the table, staring down at the files I had pulled out earlier. The notes. The reports. The patterns. And now this. This wasn't just about my son anymore. This was bigger. Organized. Deliberate. And dangerous. My phone buzzed in my hand. I jumped. Looked down. Unknown number. My heart skipped. I answered immediately. Hello. A pause. Then. You talked to him. His voice. Tighter this time. Less controlled. You saw him. I asked. I was nearby, he said. I saw him walk away. Who is he? Another pause. Longer. He's part of it. That doesn't tell me anything. It tells you enough. No, it doesn't, I snapped. Not anymore. You brought this to my door. You don't get to keep me in the dark. Silence. Then a slow exhale. You weren't supposed to get involved, he said. I've been involved for 32 years. Not like this. Then explain it to me. Another pause. Then. Helix isn't just a name. I glanced down at the card. I figured that much. It's a system, he continued. A network. They don't just take kids, they reshape them. My stomach turned. What does that mean? It means by the time they're done, you're not who you were. A cold realization started forming. Then how do you remember? I asked. Because something went wrong. With them. With me. Silence stretched between us. What kind of wrong? I pressed. You don't want to know. I do. No, he said firmly. You don't. My grip tightened on the phone. Try me. Another pause. Then. I wasn't supposed to come back. Those words hit differently. Heavier. What do you mean? I mean, he said slowly, people like me, we don't just walk away. A chill ran through me. Then how did you? Silence. Then quietly. I don't think they let me. Everything inside me went still. What? I think, he continued, voice barely above a whisper, they're using me. The room felt smaller. Colder. Using you for what? To find something. What? Another pause. Then. You. The word didn't just land. It settled. Like something that had been waiting for me to understand it. For me. I asked slower now. Careful. Yes. That doesn't make any sense. I know, he said. That's the problem. I paced the room, one hand gripping the phone, the other still holding that card. Helix. They had you for 32 years, I said. Why would they need me now? I don't think it's about needing you, he replied. I think it's about something you have. I don't have anything. You might not know that. That made me stop. What are you talking about? Silence. Then. Think back, he said. Before I disappeared, before that day, anything unusual, anyone watching, anything that didn't make sense at the time. I ran a hand over my face. That was 32 years ago. I know, but try. I closed my eyes. And for a moment, I was back there again. The heat, the road, the rest stop, Caleb's hand in mine. Then, a flicker, something small, something I had buried because it didn't seem important. There was a man, I said slowly. My voice changed as I said it, because I hadn't thought about him in years. What man? He was sitting at one of the picnic tables, I continued. Didn't look out of place, just watching. Watching you. I don't know, I admitted. At the time, I thought he was just another traveler, but what? He looked at Caleb, I said. Not casually, not like you look at a kid being loud or running around. My chest tightened. It was focused. Silence on the other end. Then, you remember anything else? He asked. I shook my head instinctively, even though he couldn't see me. No, just that feeling, like he wasn't supposed to be there. That's enough, he said quietly. No, it's not, I snapped. If they are after me now, I need more than a feeling. You're right, he said. But that's how it starts. Small things that don't feel right until it's too late. I looked down at the files spread across the table. There has to be something else, I muttered. Check your records, he said. Everything, not just the official reports, your notes, anything you didn't think mattered. I already started. Then don't stop. Something in his tone had shifted. Urgency. Real urgency. Where are you? I asked again. This time he didn't dodge it. Not somewhere I can stay long. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting right now. I clenched my jaw. Listen to me, he said, sharper now. If they're coming to you directly, it means we're out of time. Yes, whether you like it or not, you're part of this now. I've always been part of it. No, he corrected. You were a victim of it. A pause. Now you're a variable. That word sent a chill through me. Variable, I repeated. Something they didn't account for, he said. Something that could disrupt what they built. And you think that's me? I think it might be, he replied. And if I'm right, they won't stop. I looked at the door, half expecting another knock. They already showed up once, I said. They'll do more than that next time. Like what? Silence. Tell me. Another pause. Then. They'll take control. My grip tightened. Of what? Everything around you. I let out a slow breath. I'm not exactly surrounded by much. That doesn't matter, he said. They don't need much, just access. To me. Yes. I glanced at the windows now. Every shadow felt different. Every reflection suspicious. What do? I asked. It wasn't pride. It wasn't weakness. It was reality. I need you to trust me, he said. That almost made me laugh. Trust you. I repeated. You show up after 32 years, tell me you might be my son, and now I'm supposed to just trust you. I know how it sounds. No, you don't. Yes, I do, he said quietly. Because I don't fully trust you either. That stopped me. What? You're part of my past, he said. But I don't remember all of it, not clearly, not completely. So I don't know what you might have been involved in. The accusation hit harder than anything so far. You think I had something to do with this? I don't know, he said honestly. That's the point. I stared at the phone, stunned. After everything, I started. I'm not accusing you, he cut in. I'm surviving. That shut me up. Because I heard it. The truth in his voice. Not anger. Not blame. Just survival. I've been trained to question everything, he continued. Everyone. Even me. Especially you. A long silence settled between us. Uncomfortable. Necessary. Then. Fair enough, I said finally. Because what else could I say? I need you to do something, he said. What? Leave your house. I frowned. Why? Because they know where you are. They already came here. And next time they won't knock. That was enough. Where do I go? I'll send you a location, he said. Public place, crowded, cameras. You think that'll stop them? No, he replied. But it'll slow them down. I grabbed my keys without thinking. My heart was already racing again. Daniel, he said. I froze. It was the first time he said my name like that. Not distant. Not neutral. Something closer. Yeah. A pause. Then quieter. Don't bring the photo. I looked down at my wallet. Why? Because if they see it with you, he said, it confirms everything. Everything what? That you matter. My chest tightened. And if I don't bring it, then you're just another old man leaving his house. I swallowed. All right. I'll text you the location in 2 minutes, he said. Be ready. The line went dead. I stood there for exactly 3 seconds. Then I moved. Fast. Keys. Phone. Jacket. I hesitated at the table. The photo. My hand hovered over it. 32 years. I never went anywhere without it. Not once. And now I was supposed to leave it behind. It felt wrong. Like walking out without a part of myself. But his voice echoed in my head. If they see it, it confirms everything. I clenched my jaw. Then made the choice. I left it. Face down on the table. And walked out the door. The moment I stepped outside, the world felt different. Too quiet. Too normal. Which somehow made it worse. My phone buzzed. A message. An address. No name. No explanation. Just a location. I stared at it for a second, then started the car, and as I pulled out of the driveway, I checked my rearview mirror. Once. Twice. And on the third look, I saw it. A car. Parked down the street. Engine on. Watching. Waiting. And the second I turned the corner, it started moving. I didn't speed up right away. That's the first mistake people make. They panic too early. I kept my hands steady on the wheel, eyes forward, breathing controlled. The kind of control you fake until it becomes real. But in the rearview mirror, that car stayed with me. Same distance. Same lane. Too consistent to be coincidence. My phone buzzed again in the passenger seat. Another message. Don't go straight there. I swallowed. Then another one. Take 3 turns. If they follow all 3, it's confirmed. I exhaled slowly through my nose. All right. Let's confirm it. I took the next right. Nothing sudden. Smooth. Casual. The kind of turn you make when you forgot something at home. 3 seconds. 5 seconds. 10. The car turned 2. My grip tightened slightly. 1, I muttered under my breath. I drove another block. Slowed slightly near a stop sign, then turned left. Again, nothing sharp. Nothing panicked. Just normal. I counted. 3 seconds. 6 seconds. There it was again. That same car. Same pace. Same distance. My chest tightened. 2. Now my heartbeat wasn't calm anymore. Now it was loud. Heavy. Pushing against my ribs like it wanted out. I drove straight for another minute, longer this time. Let it stretch. Let them think I wasn't testing anything. Then, I took a third turn. Quick but not reckless. Into a narrower street. Less traffic. Fewer people. A mistake if I was wrong. A confirmation if I wasn't. I checked the mirror. Nothing. For a second. Nothing. And that second almost fooled me. Almost made me breathe again. Then, headlights turned into the street. Same car. Same distance. 3, I whispered. Confirmed. A cold wave moved through me. Not fear. Clarity. They're on you. His voice echoed in my head. No, not they. That car. That driver. Right now it was just one. I could work with that. My phone buzzed again. Confirmed. I didn't reply. Didn't need to. Another message came instantly. Change route, sending new location. A new address popped up. Further. Busier part of the city. Good. I needed people. Cameras. Noise. I pressed the gas a little harder now. Not enough to alarm them. Just enough to start shifting control. The car behind me adjusted. Still there. Still patient. That's what bothered me most. No aggression. No attempt to close distance. Just watching. Like they didn't need to rush. Like they already knew how this ended. Not today, I muttered. Traffic started picking up as I merged onto a wider road. Motorcycles. Buses. Cars cutting in and out. Perfect. I changed lanes twice. Then 3 times. The car followed every move. Not immediate. Not obvious. But consistent. Whoever was driving knew what they were doing. This wasn't random. This wasn't some low-level thug sent to scare me. This was controlled. Professional. My phone buzzed again. Do not go home. I almost laughed. Wasn't planning to, I muttered. Another message. If you lose them, go to the location. If you don't, keep moving. Helpful. Real helpful. I checked the fuel gauge. Half tank. Enough. I took a sudden exit. This time sharper. More decisive. A risk. The kind that forces a reaction. Cars honked behind me. A truck blared its horn. But I made it. Barely. I glanced in the mirror. For a second. I lost them. Gone. No headlights. No car. Just traffic. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. Lost you, I whispered. But something didn't feel right. It was too easy. Way too easy. I drove another 30 seconds. Then checked again. Still nothing. No sign. No tail. My shoulders dropped slightly. Maybe. A black SUV slid into my lane from the side street. Too smooth. Too precise. My stomach dropped. Different car. Same distance. Same behavior. Damn it. They switched. Of course they did. I let out a dry laugh. All right, I said under my breath. So that's how this is going to be. My phone buzzed again. Still on you. I hesitated. Then typed back. Yes, new car. 3 dots appeared instantly. Then. Good. I frowned. Good. Another message came. That means they're serious. My grip tightened. That's not good. It is, he replied. Because it means we're close to something they don't want found. I didn't like the sound of that. What something? No response. Instead. Keep driving, I'm coming to you. That made my heart skip. No, I said out loud. Bad idea. But the message had already come. Too late. I checked the mirror again. The SUV was still there. Steady. Silent. Watching. And now. This wasn't just about me anymore. Now it was about him walking straight into this. Where are you? I typed. The reply came slower this time. Closer than you think. A chill ran through me. I scanned the road ahead. People everywhere. Cars. Noise. Movement. And yet, I felt it. That shift in the air again. Like something was about to happen. Not later. Now. The SUV behind me suddenly sped up. Closing distance. Fast. Too fast. Here we go, I muttered. My heart slammed against my chest. Adrenaline hit hard. I gripped the wheel tighter. They weren't watching anymore. They were moving. And just as the SUV got close enough that I could see the driver's silhouette, a voice came through my phone. Not a call. Not a message. A voice. Low. Clear. Right from the speaker. I wouldn't brake if I were you. My blood turned cold. Because I hadn't answered a call. I hadn't pressed anything. And yet, he was on the line. I'm in, he said calmly. Where? I demanded. A pause. Then, behind you. I didn't turn around. That's the second mistake people make. They look when they shouldn't. My grip tightened on the wheel, every nerve in my body firing at once. Which one? I asked, keeping my voice low. The SUV, he replied. Calm. Too calm. That's the one chasing me. No, he said. That's the one I'm in. Everything inside me stalled for half a second. Then snapped back twice as hard. Then who? Before I could finish, another vehicle surged into view from my left. A dark sedan. Fast. Aggressive. It cut between us, forcing me to swerve slightly. Horns exploded around me. Tires screeched. Eyes forward, his voice came through the phone again. Don't react to them, react to me. What is happening? I snapped. You're the center point now, he said. 2 teams, 2 objectives. And I'm guessing neither is good for me. Silence. That told me enough. The sedan moved ahead of me, blocking my lane just enough to control my speed. The SUV stayed behind. Boxed in. Perfectly. Don't try to break out yet, he said. They're waiting for that. Who is they? I demanded. The ones who don't want you alive, he replied. And you? A pause. Then. The ones who don't want you dead, yet. That didn't make me feel better. Great, I muttered. So I'm valuable either way. Yes, he said. That's the problem. My heart was pounding so hard now, it felt like it was in my throat. What do I do? Drive, he said. And listen carefully. The sedan in front slowed slightly. Too controlled. Too intentional. They were guiding me somewhere. I'm not following them, I said. You already are, he replied. But we're going to change that. How? On my mark, you're going to take the next right. I glanced ahead. There is no right. There will be, he said. Trust me. I almost laughed. Almost. Trust you, I repeated under my breath. Daniel, he said quietly. That tone again. Different. Closer. I know this feels insane, he continued. But right now, I'm the only one trying to get you out of this. A beat. And I'm very good at this. I swallowed. Because something in his voice made me believe him. All right, I said. Good. We drove another few seconds. Then. Now. I looked right. A narrow service road opened between 2 buildings. Barely visible. I jerked the wheel. Hard. The tires screamed. The car fishtailed slightly before catching grip. I shot into the narrow lane. For a split second. Silence. No sedan. No SUV. Just me. And then. The SUV burst in behind me. Fast. Closer than before. Stay steady, he said. Don't slow down. I'm in a damn alley. Exactly. The walls on either side closed in. Concrete. Graffiti. Trash bins. No room for mistakes. My hands were locked on the wheel now. Pure instinct. End of the lane, he said. You're going to see a gate. I see it. Don't stop. What? Don't stop. That's a metal gate. Trust me. There it was again. That word. Trust. I had about 2 seconds to decide. Brake. Or believe him. I pressed the gas. Hard. The engine roared. The gate got closer. Closer. This is a bad idea. I shouted. Keep going. 10 feet. 5. At the last second. The gate started lifting. Just enough. Just fast enough. I shot through. Barely clearing it. The top of my car scraped lightly, metal grinding against metal. Then. Open space. A back lot. Empty. I slammed the brakes. The car skidded to a stop, my chest heaving. Silence. For 1 second. 2. The SUV burst through the gate behind me. Didn't slow. Didn't hesitate. It swung sideways and blocked the exit completely. Engine still running. Dust settling around it. I stared at it, waiting. The driver's door opened, slowly, and he stepped out. Same man, same face, but different now. No distance, no hesitation. He walked toward me like he had every right to be there, like this was always the plan. I pushed the door open and stepped out too. My legs felt unsteady, but I didn't care. What the hell is this? I demanded. He stopped a few feet away, studied me, really studied me this time. Then, for the first time, he said quietly, "We're not being watched." That sent a chill through me. What? They can't see us here, he continued. No cameras, no access, no signal bleed. I looked around. Empty lot. Closed off. Isolated. You planned this? Yes. The word came without hesitation. Then why the hell chase me like that? I snapped. Because they were already on you, he replied. I had to take control of the situation. By nearly getting me killed. You're alive. Barely. A pause. Then. You did good, he said. That hit me strangely. Not relief. Not comfort. Something else. Something I hadn't felt in a long time. Like approval. And I hated that part of me reacted to it. Stop talking like you know me, I said. He didn't argue. Didn't push. Instead, he reached into his jacket. Slow. Careful. And pulled something out. A small object. Metal. Worn. He held it out to me. I stared at it. Didn't move. What is that? You tell me. Reluctantly, I stepped closer. Looked at it. And the moment I did, the world tilted. Because I recognized it instantly. An old keychain. Blue plastic. Scratched to hell. With a tiny faded rocket ship on it. My breath caught. I gave this to him, I whispered. His eyes didn't leave mine. You gave it to me, he said. My hand started shaking again. Where did you get this? I asked. I kept it. For 32 years. Yes. That's not possible. Neither is this, he said, gesturing between us. A long silence settled. Heavy. Real. I reached out slowly and took the keychain. It felt exactly the same. Worn edges. Small crack near the corner. Even the tiny burn mark from, and Caleb held it too close to a candle once. I looked up at him. Really looked this time. Not at the man he became, but at the boy he was. And for a split second, I saw him. Not clearly. Not fully. But enough. Caleb. I said softly. He didn't pull away this time. Didn't correct me. Just stood there. Letting it exist between us. I need you to listen to me now, he said. His voice shifted again. Focused. Serious. We don't have much time. What happens next? I asked. He glanced toward the gate. Then back at me. They're going to escalate. How? They're going to stop following, he said. That sounds like a good thing. No, he replied. It means, he paused, they've already decided what to do with you. A cold silence filled the space. And what is that? I asked. He looked me dead in the eyes. And this time, there was no distance left. No uncertainty. Just truth. They're going to take you. Then let them try, I said, but it didn't come out as strong as I wanted. He shook his head immediately. No, that's exactly what we don't do. Running worked great the first 32 years, I shot back. This isn't running, he said. This is positioning. I let out a frustrated breath, pacing a few steps across the empty lot. My hand was still wrapped around that small blue keychain like it was the only real thing left in the world. Start talking, I said. No more half answers. He nodded once. Helix isn't just taking kids, he began. They're building identities, rewriting people, training them, placing them, using them. For what? Access, he replied. Influence, control. Think about it, a person with no real past can become anything. My jaw tightened. And you were one of them. Yes. And now? A pause. Now I'm not following the script. That's a nice way to say you went rogue. Something like that. I studied him carefully. You said they might be using you. I said I think they are, he corrected. There's a difference. What kind of difference? The kind where I don't know which of my decisions are actually mine. That landed heavier than anything else. So you could be leading me straight into this, I said. Yes. The honesty in that answer hit hard. And you still expect me to trust you? No, he said calmly. I expect you to think. I let out a dry laugh. Great, because thinking has worked out real well for me so far. He didn't react. Didn't defend himself. Just watched me. Waiting. That patience again. Same as before. And that's when it clicked. You've done this before, I said slowly. His eyes flickered. Done what? Talked to people like this. Controlled the situation. Kept everything just vague enough. Silence. That's training, I added. Not instinct. Another pause. Then. Yes. At least he didn't lie. So what's the plan? I asked. He glanced toward the far end of the lot. There's a building behind this block, he said. Old, abandoned. It's one of the few places they don't monitor. Why not? Because it used to be theirs. That made my stomach turn. Used to. They lost access to it years ago. Internal conflict. Doesn't matter right now. It matters to me, I said. It will, he replied. Just not yet. I stared at him. Every answer opened 3 more questions. Inside that building, he continued, there's something we need. What? Information. Be specific. A server node, he said. Offline storage, old data, pre-network. I frowned. You think they kept records? I know they did. And you think it's still there. I think they didn't expect anyone like me to come back for it. A pause. And definitely not with you. I looked down at the keychain again. Why me? I asked quietly. Out of everything they've done, why do I matter now? He hesitated. That was new. What? I pressed. Because of what you saw, he said. The truck. Not just the truck. I looked up. What else? You noticed the man, he said. At the table. So most people wouldn't remember that, he replied. Not after everything that happened. I barely remembered it. But you did, he said. And that means something. That means I have a memory. It means you were paying attention. A beat. And people who pay attention are problems. I let that sink in, then shook my head. That's not enough. There's more, he said. Then say it. Another pause. Then. I think you were being evaluated. The words felt wrong. What does that mean? I think that day wasn't just about taking me, he said. I think it was about watching you. My chest tightened. Why would they watch me? I don't know, he admitted. But Helix doesn't do anything randomly. I stepped back slightly, trying to process it. So you're saying they took my son, and I might have been part of the plan too. I'm saying it's possible. That's not possible, I snapped. Daniel. No, I cut him off. I was just a father, a normal guy. There's nothing special about me. He looked at me carefully. Not arguing. Not agreeing. Just observing. That's what you believe, he said. That's what I know. Then we'll prove it, he replied. A silence settled between us again. Thicker this time. More dangerous. All right, I said finally. We go to this building. We find your server. Our server, he corrected. I didn't respond to that. And then what? I asked. Then we find out the truth. And if the truth is worse than we think? He held my gaze. It will be. That answer came too fast, too certain. I didn't like that, but I nodded anyway. Fine, I said. Let's move. He turned toward the edge of the lot, then stopped. Stay close, he said. I'm not exactly planning to wander off. That's not what I mean, he replied. I frowned. What do you mean? He looked at me again. Serious. Focused. The moment we step out of here, he said, we're back on their board. A chill ran through me. Then let's not give them an easy game, I said. For the first time. A small, real smile appeared on his face. Now you're learning. We moved toward the exit on foot, leaving the cars behind. Each step felt heavier than the last. Not because of fear, because of what was coming. Because whatever answers were waiting in that building. They were going to change everything. We reached the narrow passage behind the lot. Dark. Quiet. Too quiet. This way, he said, leading slightly ahead. I followed. No hesitation now. Just forward. The alley stretched longer than it should have. Every sound echoed. Every shadow felt alive. You've been here before? I asked. Yes. How many times? Enough. That wasn't comforting. We reached a rusted metal door at the end. Half hidden behind stacked crates. He stopped. Listened. Then nodded to himself. Clear. You sure? No, he said. But we're going in anyway. He pulled the door open slowly. It creaked just enough to make my teeth clench. Inside. Darkness. Cold air. And the faint smell of something old. Forgotten. Stay behind me, he said. I stepped in after him. The door shut behind us with a heavy thud. And just like that, the outside world disappeared. Only one thing remained. The truth we were about to uncover. And something told me. We weren't ready for it. The darkness inside didn't feel empty. It felt occupied, like something had been waiting longer than we had. The door sealed behind us with a heavy echo that seemed to travel deeper into the building than it should have. I stood still for a second, letting my eyes adjust, but it wasn't just the lack of light that made this place hard to read. It was the silence. Not normal silence. The kind that listens back. Don't speak for a minute, he whispered. I nodded, even though he couldn't see it clearly. We stood there unmoving. I could hear his breathing controlled, measured. Mine wasn't. After about 30 seconds, he moved. Slow. Careful. A faint click, and a dim light flickered on in his hand. Not a flashlight exactly, something softer, narrower. It barely cut through the dark, just enough to outline shapes. Old walls. Concrete. Wires running along the ceiling like veins. This place. I muttered. Keep your voice low, he said. You said they don't monitor it. They don't have access, he corrected. That doesn't mean they never come back. That didn't help. We moved forward. Each step echoed just slightly, the sound bouncing off surfaces I couldn't fully see. Stay where I step, he added. Why? He didn't answer. That was becoming a pattern. We reached a wider room. The light shifted across old desks, broken monitors, metal cabinets half open like someone left in a hurry and never came back. This was operational. I asked quietly. Years ago. What happened? They fractured, he said. Internal split. Helix. Yes. Over what? Another pause. Control. That word again. Everything seemed to circle back to that. He moved toward the far wall, brushing dust off a panel I wouldn't have noticed. His fingers moved fast. Precise. Like muscle memory. You remember all this? I asked. Not all of it, he said. Just enough. A soft mechanical click echoed. Then another. A section of the wall shifted slightly. Hidden door. Of course. After you, he said. I hesitated. Really. He gave me a look. If something's wrong in there, it's better I'm behind you. Comforting. You're still walking, he replied. I exhaled, then stepped through. The air inside was colder, cleaner, different. Like this part of the building had been sealed off from time. Rows of equipment lined the room. Older but not dead. Sleeping. That's it, he said quietly. I looked around. This is your server. One of them. You said offline. It is, he said. But offline doesn't mean inaccessible. He moved past me, heading straight for a terminal in the corner. No hesitation. No searching. He knew exactly where to go. You've done this before, I said. Yes. How many times? He didn't answer. Again. I was starting to hate that. He crouched down, pulling open a panel beneath the terminal. Wires. Ports. Devices I didn't recognize. You're going to need to start trusting me at some point, he said without looking up. I am here, aren't I? That's not trust, he replied. That's momentum. I leaned against a nearby table, watching him work. Then what does trust look like? He paused for a second. Then. Trust looks like you not asking what happens if this goes wrong. I let out a dry breath. Then we're not there yet. A faint hum started building in the room. Low at first. Then steady. The machines around us flickered, like something deep inside them was waking up. There we go, he murmured. What did you just do? Woke it up. That doesn't sound safe. It isn't. Lights blinked across the panels. Old screens flickered to life. Lines of data scrolled in dim green text. My chest tightened. This is it. I asked. This is part of it. He stood up slowly, eyes scanning the screen. Focused. Locked in. What are we looking for? I asked. Your answer. I stepped closer. The screen was filled with codes, names, dates. Too fast to follow. Then. He froze. Just for a second. But I saw it. What? I asked. He didn't respond. His eyes narrowed slightly. Tell me, I said. Still nothing. Then his hand moved, slowly scrolling back. Stopping on something. A file. Labeled with a date. June 14th, 1993. My heart slammed into my chest. That's the day, I whispered. I know. Open it. He hesitated. That scared me more than anything so far. Why are you hesitating? Because once we open this, he said quietly, we don't get to go back. There's nothing to go back to, I snapped. A long pause. Then. He pressed the key. The file opened. The screen flickered. Then stabilized. Text appeared. Structured. Organized. Cold. My eyes scanned the first line. Subject acquisition log. Then the next. Primary target, juvenile male. Designation, C-17. My throat tightened. That's you, I said. He didn't respond. He was reading ahead. Faster. His expression changing. Tension building in his jaw. What is it? I pressed. Then I saw it. A second line. Secondary evaluation. Adult male guardian. My blood ran cold. That's me. Neither of us spoke for a moment. Then. He scrolled further. And the next line. The one that made everything stop. Evaluation status, approved. I felt the ground shift under me. Approved. I repeated. My voice barely there. For what? For integration. The words came out of his mouth like they didn't belong to him. Like he was just reading them, but they were already changing him. I stared at the screen, trying to force it to make sense. It doesn't mean that, I said quickly. It can't mean that. He didn't look at me. He kept reading, scrolling. And the longer he stayed silent, the worse it got. Say something, I snapped. His jaw tightened. Then finally. It means you weren't just there by accident. No, I shook my head immediately. No, that's wrong. That's not possible. Daniel. I was his father, I said louder now. That's it. That's all I was. He turned to me slowly, and there was something in his eyes now I hadn't seen before. Distance. Not emotional distance. Analytical. Like he was reassessing me. Like I had just become data. Then explain this, he said, stepping aside. I moved closer to the screen, my hands trembling. He scrolled back slightly, then highlighted a section. Observer notes. Subject demonstrates high situational awareness. Retains peripheral details under stress conditions. Exhibits controlled response patterns under pressure. Candidate suitable for Phase 2 integration. My chest tightened with every line. That's not. I started. But the words died. Because it sounded like me. Not who I thought I was. But how I had always been. Even before that day. Keep reading, he said quietly. I didn't want to. But I did. Authorization tag, pending. Followed by. Status update, trigger event initiated. I blinked. What's trigger event? I asked. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. Because my eyes dropped to the next line. Trigger event, child extraction protocol. Everything inside me went still. No. I whispered. No, no, no. They took me, he said slowly, to trigger you. My legs felt weak. I grabbed the edge of the table to steady myself. That's not real, I said. That's not real. But it is, he replied. I shook my head harder now. No, they took you because that's what they do, he cut in. Yes. Then why document you, he shot back. Why evaluate you, why approve you? I don't know. I snapped. Silence slammed into the room. Heavy. Crushing. And for the first time since he walked into my life again, I saw something break in his expression. Not anger. Not confusion. Something worse. Understanding. They weren't just taking kids, he said quietly. They were building something, I replied, my voice barely holding together. And you were part of it. I didn't know. I shouted. I believe you. That stopped me. I looked at him. You do. Yes, he said. Because if you knew, you wouldn't be here right now. A long breath left my chest. But it didn't bring relief. Because it didn't change anything. What is Phase 2? I asked. He turned back to the screen. Scrolling again. Searching. Here, he said after a moment. Another file. Linked. He opened it. More text. More cold clinical language. Phase 2 integration protocol. Subjects demonstrating advanced adaptive traits are transitioned post-trigger conditioning. Emotional fracture events increase compliance and cognitive restructuring efficiency. Long-term placement recommended for behavioral observation. I felt sick. They were going to take me too. I said, yes. When? He scrolled further, looking for something specific. Then. There, he said. Date scheduled, June 15, 1993. The next day. I stared at it. My mind trying to catch up. They took him to break me, I said slowly. And then come back for you, he finished. But they didn't. No. Why? That question hung there. Big. Important. Dangerous. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he started digging deeper into the file. Scrolling. Cross-referencing. Then suddenly, he stopped. Again. What? I asked. But this time, he didn't show me right away. His expression changed. Tightened. Something was wrong. Show me, I demanded. A pause. Then slowly, he stepped aside. I moved forward. Looked at the screen. And my entire world collapsed again. Status update. Phase 2 integration, canceled. Reason, subject non-compliant. I frowned. What does that mean? He didn't answer. So I read the next line. Incident report attached. My heart started racing again. Open it, I said. He hesitated. Open it, I repeated. He pressed the key. The file loaded. And what I saw next didn't just change everything. It destroyed it. Incident summary. Subject exhibited unexpected aggression during secondary observation window. Observer compromised. Containment protocol breached. Subject removed from integration list. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Aggression. I whispered. My mind raced, trying to connect something. Anything. Then, a memory hit me. Hard. So hard it made me stumble back. The night after Caleb disappeared. The police station. A man asking too many questions. Pushing too hard. Saying things that didn't feel right. I remembered grabbing him. Shoving him against the wall. Yelling. Not just yelling. Threatening. And then, security pulling me off. I stared at the screen. They came for me. I said slowly, yes. And I. You fought back, he said. My chest rose and fell rapidly. I didn't even know. But you felt it, he replied. Something was wrong. And that saved me. Yes. A long silence filled the room. Thick. Unreal. They didn't come back, I said. No, he agreed. Why? He looked at me. And this time, there was no distance. No analysis. Just something real. Because you became unpredictable. I let out a shaky breath. And they don't like that. No, he said. They eliminate it. A chill ran through me. Then why am I still alive? That question lingered. Heavy. Unanswered. He looked back at the screen. Scrolling again. Slower now. More careful. Then. He found something. Hidden deeper. Buried. What is it? I asked. He didn't respond immediately. Then he opened it. A restricted file. Minimal text. But enough. Final assessment. Subject Daniel Harper, deferred classification. Status, monitor only. Directive, do not engage unless activated. My heart dropped. Activated. I repeated. He turned to me slowly. And for the first time. He looked unsure. I don't think they ever let you go, he said. A cold silence filled the room. What does that mean? He held my gaze. It means, he paused, you were never just a father who lost his son. My throat tightened. Then what am I? He didn't answer right away. His eyes flicked back to the screen. Then to me. Then finally. I think, he said quietly. You're something they were waiting to use. I stared at him, waiting for the rest of that sentence to somehow make it better. It didn't. Use me for what? I asked. He didn't answer immediately. Not because he didn't want to, but because he was thinking. Really thinking. Like every word now had consequences. Then he turned back to the screen and scrolled again. Slower this time. Careful. Like he was walking through something fragile. Activation, he muttered. There has to be a condition. A condition for what? For you, he said. My chest tightened. I'm not some kind of switch. No, he replied quietly. You're something more complicated than that. He stopped scrolling. Another file. Smaller. Deeper. Hidden behind layers of access. How are you even seeing that? I asked. I'm not supposed to, he said. Which means this matters. He opened it. The screen flickered once, twice, then stabilized. And this time, there wasn't a block of data. There was a recording. Audio. Dated June 14th, 1993. Timestamped. Minutes after Caleb was taken. My stomach dropped. That's right after. I know, he said. He hovered over the play button. Then looked at me. This is the moment everything changed, he said quietly. Play it. He did. Static filled the room first. Low. Distorted. Then. Voices. 2 of them. One I didn't recognize. The other. My breath caught. It was me. But not like I remembered. Not panicked. Not broken. Controlled. Sharp. You think I don't see what this is? My voice said through the speaker. I froze. That wasn't how I remembered it. You're out of line, sir, the other voice replied. No, I said in the recording. You are. Silence. Then a shift in tone. The other man's voice changed. Colder. Subject responding faster than expected, he said. Not to me, but like he was reporting. My heart started pounding. He knew, I whispered. He knew I wasn't just. Listen, he said. The recording continued. You took my son, I said in that calm, terrifying voice. And now you're here to see what happens next. There was a pause. Then. You weren't supposed to notice, the man admitted. My hand started shaking. I didn't notice, I said in the recording. I recognized. A long silence followed. Then. What are you? The man asked. And the answer. The answer made the room feel like it collapsed inward. I'm the part of your system you didn't finish building. The recording cut to static. Then ended. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. That's not me, I said. But it was. Every word. Every tone. Every pause. It was me, just not the version of me I knew. You weren't just being evaluated, he said quietly. I looked at him slowly. Then what was I? His voice dropped. Prototyped. The word echoed in my head like it didn't belong in reality. They were testing something, he continued. Not just in kids, in adults too. Rare cases, people with natural resistance, pattern recognition, behavioral adaptability. I shook my head. No, I worked a normal job. I lived a normal life. Until that day, he cut in. Silence. Because he was right. Everything changed that day. Not just because I lost my son, but because something inside me never went back. You weren't supposed to resist, he said. You were supposed to break, then be rebuilt. And I didn't. No, he replied. You broke their model. I looked back at the screen. At the words. Monitor only. Do not engage unless activated. So I've just been sitting here. I asked. Waiting for something I didn't even know about. Yes. For 32 years. Yes. A long silence settled between us. Heavy. But different now. Not confusion. Not fear. Understanding. Slow. Uncomfortable. But real. Then why now? I asked. Because of me, he said. I looked at him. What? My return, he said. My memory's coming back. It probably triggered something in their system. And that activates me. I think so. I let out a slow breath. And what happens when I'm activated? He didn't answer. That was answer enough. I looked around the room. At the machines. At the data. At the past sitting in front of me like it never left. Then I looked at him. My son, I said. This time, I didn't hesitate. And this time, he didn't pull away. He held my gaze. Not as a stranger. Not as a subject. But as someone standing on the same edge. They turned you into something, I said. Yes. They tried to turn me into something. Yes. And now we're both standing here, trying to figure out what's left. A small pause. Then. What if this is what's left, he said. That hit deeper than anything else. Because maybe he was right. Maybe we weren't broken pieces. Maybe we were unfinished ones. I looked back at the screen one last time. Then reached forward. And shut it down. The room dimmed. The hum faded. Silence returned. But it wasn't the same silence as before. This one felt decided. They're going to come, I said. Yes. And they're not going to stop. No. I nodded. Then slipped the blue keychain into my pocket. They took 32 years from us, I said quietly. He watched me. They don't get another day. Something shifted in his expression. Not hesitation. Not distance. Alignment. We can't fight them directly, he said. We don't have to, I replied. He tilted his head slightly. Then what do? I looked at the dark room around us. Then back at him. We do what they didn't expect. And what's that? I let out a slow breath. We stop being what they built. A pause. Then. We become something they can't predict. For the first time. A real smile appeared on his face. Not controlled. Not trained. Real. Unpredictable, he said. I nodded. Exactly. A distant sound echoed somewhere outside the building. Engines. Multiple. Getting closer. He heard it too. They're here. Good, I said. He looked at me. You're not afraid. I thought about that. Really thought about it. Then shook my head. I was afraid for 32 years, I said. I think I'm done with that. Another sound. Closer now. Doors. Movement. Time was up. He stepped beside me. Not ahead. Not behind. Beside. And that meant everything. No more running, he asked. I looked at him. At the man he became. At the boy I lost. At the truth we both survived. No, I said. Then added. But we choose where this goes next. He nodded once. Then let's go. We moved toward the exit together. Not hunted. Not broken. Not anymore. And as the door opened, and the world outside rushed back in, I realized something I hadn't felt in decades. Not hope. Not relief. Something stronger. Control. Because for the first time since that day, I wasn't searching. I wasn't waiting. I wasn't reacting. I was deciding. And whatever Helix had planned for us, they were about to learn something they should have known from the start. You can design a system. You can control a process. You can even rewrite a life. But you can't predict what happens when the people inside it choose to fight back. And this time, we weren't disappearing. We were coming for them.